Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Firstly, thank you so much for everyone regarding those who watched the truth about Budget Stark and who PM'd me and left messages. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you guys putting comments there, positive or negative. Thank you very much for at least responding to that. I think generally it was very well received, and I think now that people understand a little bit more about what I do and how people buy figures through me and how it all works, everything seems to be fine. So I'm glad everyone understands the situation now. The reason why I'm doing this another video is that I was talking to a friend of mine who's another Iron Man, big Iron Man collector, Denobi 2, and he raised some points which was great because I want to address it to give my point of view, and also some other points which I've got notes for so I don't start rambling on for half hour. I want to touch on. These are gifts that I've sent out to people, receipts in Hong Kong, how Hot Toys pricing and I think it's called flex payments in the US. I think there's something similar in the UK. I'll address that. How pre-orders work, and also too many Iron Men. Some of these points have been heard already because I did actually talk about this in the figure chat in June 2014, beginning of June. So if you guys watched that, sorry if I'm repeating myself, but not everyone watched it because it was a 2-hour plus video. So I know the boys there who watched it understand it. Dean Knight, Ryno, Theclipper King, all those guys have pretty much heard it, so they'll know roughly sort of things I'm talking about. But I'll tell you a little bit more about how pre-ordering works and how that's different, because that's a big difference here. Anyway, so let's talk about, I wanted to raise a couple of points. The first thing is about gifts. Now, gifts that I've sent out to people have no motive behind it apart from one thing. I think the person receiving it would really appreciate it. Now, none of those gifts that I've given to people have cost me money. I'll say that again. None of the gifts that I've sent out to people, particularly the figures, have cost me money. The only reason that they received it is because I know them a little bit better. I know that they will appreciate it, and it is no way reflective of if they bought anything from me. For example, Ryno received a gift. He never bought anything from me. DFUZENL has received a few gifts. He's never bought anything from me. Dean Knight has also received gifts. Never bought anything from me. So I don't want you guys to think I'm sending gifts to people to try and grab more business or try and grab them so that they're obliged to buy figures from me in the future. That's not what it's about. It's purely because I know their favourite line. I know they'll really like this. So therefore, this hasn't cost me any money. These are generally gifts given to me from other stores, or from stores that I think, you know, I think my friend will like that. Can I have that? So I can give it on to someone else. I don't want to keep these, and I don't sell gifts on because I don't believe that's correct. Some people do, I don't. So the only gifts I have paid for was these art prints, which is about this sort of size. There was a Terminator one which I gave to Andre, who's Xenomorph, because it fit nicely with his DX13. There was a Batman one that I sent to Dean Knight, because I know Batman's his favourite line. DFUZENL, there was a Joker that had the line, "Why so serious?" And I thought that was perfect for DFUZENL because I know he loves the Joker. And to Denobi 2, who I sent an Iron Man one to, with Tony Stark with a faceplate open. So I sent those to those guys. I did pay for those, but I did a deal for 4 of them, and the store owner now knows me, and I've managed to get better deals on those because I know it's something different. I'm not sure how much they cost overseas or online, but it's a print shop next to one of the figure stores that I buy quite regularly from, and I thought they're great. So anyway, check out those guys, who have great figure collections, by the way. So those are gifts. Next thing is receipts. A few people who have bought in Hong Kong may or may not know this. I think some of the Hong Kong viewers who live here and buy Hot Toys, they can pretty much back me up here. If you buy from a big distributor such as Hot Toys directly, or another toy store called UML, who sell dragon figures, and those are 1 in 9 size statues generally, you will get receipts, and you probably get not a refund, potential credit notes from those stores. Now, just to go back a little step, the difference in consumer rights in Hong Kong is drastically different than in the UK and in the US. Generally, you can refund pretty much anything after, was it 7 days or 30 days, 14 days under normal consumer rights. You can pretty much, if that's like change of mind, or if there's any damage, faulty, etc, etc. Hong Kong doesn't work like that. If we're talking about things in general, talking about a camera, electronics store, Toys R Us, you generally, if you pay money to them, you generally won't get a refund for anything. Toys R Us is probably a little bit of an exception. You may be able to get a refund from those guys. But generally, you could get a credit note if there's damage on it, or if you take it back after a few days there's a problem with it. Generally, you have about 7 days or 3 days from the date of the receipt that you get it. So you better go home and test it out immediately. Some things you can't even take it home to test out, such as light bulbs. You go and buy a light bulb, you have to test it in the store. If it doesn't work, you go home, sorry, that's unfortunate, because they think that you've just swapped one. So this is where the thing about receipts come in. I've gone out to a figure store, a reseller. I've spent over $2,000 US with him. You don't get a receipt. Everything is sold as is. You have to trust the guy that when he says it's new, brand new, unopened, that is the case. Because there's no recourse. You come back and you say, sorry, I bought this from you, it's not what it says, there's damage inside. He'll turn around and say, sorry, how do I know you haven't damaged it? If you want to check it and inspect it, you must do it there and then. But if you check it there and then, you have to buy it. You can't open something without buying it. So, if you open it, if you buy it, open it, there's a problem, credit notes. You have to spend more money in the store or something exchange for something similar. It's no refund. Pretty much, if they take your money, you're not going to get it back. So you have to be very careful what you buy and check it thoroughly. So those who have come to the Hong Kong to buy, generally everything is okay. It's just when there's a little situation if something's faulty. This is not every single shop here, but I'll say 90%, 95% of shops out here. And sometimes I even know these guys and they say, look, I'm sorry, I can't do anything because invoice has gone out, I can't do refunds, but you can buy something else or swap it, etc. So that's where it's a little bit different. So that's about receipts. Next thing, I think going to Hot Toys pricing and the flex payments, that's quite a good topic. I don't really know 100% about the flex payments because that's a US thing and something similar in the UK. But from what I've been told by other collectors, I hear it's quite straightforward. It's almost like a mini loan or a mini mortgage until you pay off till your figure has arrived when you've paid out the whole thing. So it starts maybe 6 months beforehand. It's a $300 figure, 10 months before you pay $30 per month, something like that. So if you have, let's say, 5 of these, you could be paying $150 staggered over a period of time. So that's when you pre-order until the date of your figure arrival. Now in the UK, I believe that's something similar to that, where you can pay a little bit up front and you have the option to pay the rest at a later stage when they get it in stock, something like that. Hong Kong, there's no such thing. If you want to pre-order, you pay about 50% or more of the figure, and that's your deposit. There's no cancellation of that figure. If you pay the deposit, you must buy it. If you don't want it, you lose the right to your deposit and you forfeit your figure. I've talked about this on the figure talk, but just to reiterate again, so in the UK and the US, if you don't want the figure, I think you pay a little cancellation fee, but you get most, if not all, of your deposit back, and you pay either 0 upfront or 10%, something along those lines. Completely different to Hong Kong. You pay about 50% or the whole cost of the figure. This is generally 6 months or a year until the figure is released. So, as you can imagine, the cost of you pre-ordering in Hong Kong is a lot more. Plus, you've locked up more of your money. This is where it's a lot different to what you guys are used to. Now, with the flex payments, I can understand now why there's a little bit grief about too many Iron Men. Very, very simply, if you order 5 of these, you can have a staggered payment of $150. If it's $30, $300 total, $30 a month over a 10-month period. I can see why that's building up. But here's my point. If Hot Toys don't release all the Iron Mens that were in the film, or they've got the rights to, they're going to get lampooned for, why aren't you making this, why aren't you making this? Now, if they're making all of them, they're getting lampooned by saying, you're making too many of them. Well, to me, surely, a collector is strong enough to say, I won't like that one, I won't choose to buy it. I won't choose that one because I don't like the look of it. If you're a completist and completist collector and you want every single thing out there, so be it. But I don't think you can lampoon them for releasing all the armours. I, for one, I'm looking forward to having the option to buy all the armours. I've actually not decided to buy the Mark 1, the Mark 2 original, and the Mark 3 and the Mark 3 battle damage, purely because I don't really like the look of them. It doesn't really get my juices going, so I decided not to buy them. Now, if anyone questions whether I'm a real Iron Man fan for not buying those, I don't think that's really valid. I've got a lot of Iron Man figures and I spend a lot of time displaying them, so I think you guys have seen that on my channel. So, I don't think these guys releasing all these Iron Men is a bad thing. What I do see though, I can understand why people feel committed, or this hostility towards Hot Toys. You're releasing too many Iron Men, you're devaluing my existing figure collection, or you're committing me to buy. Well, that's not really Hot Toys' fault. I believe it's actually partly Sideshow's fault, because they're the ones who created this business model of these flex payments. Now, these flex payments are actually, I believe, quite a good thing in some respects, because it allows people to save up in a committal way every month to pay for a figure at the end, or to pre-order them. But the flip side is that, are you committing these people to too much money? Can these people really afford it? So this particular option has its upside and its downsides, and I feel that collectors should be strong enough to say, no, I'm not going to buy this, and if you don't buy it, you don't buy it. I don't really see why there's a hatred towards Hot Toys for releasing too many Iron Men. A number of people have said, looking forward to all these armours. Bones, the one that's released in the beginning of July, or the mid-July, I've just pre-ordered that one. I had to pay 55% for that up front, and that's released in 9 months or 11 months down the road, Q2 of 2015. Am I happy that they released it? Yes, I am. Yes, that Igor is coming out next year. Star Boost is coming out. Heartbreaker is coming out in a few months as well. All these, however, are staggered by a few months. So, I don't really see where the problem is, but I'm sure you guys will leave comments and have agreements and disagreements with me in the comments, but that's just my view on things. That's pretty much all I wanted to say, and this topic was started by Denobi too. He's a big Iron Man collector as well. I know him pretty well, we talk a lot, and he said that there's too many, and the US collectors in particular have said these guys need to stop, and I don't think that they're taking advantage of collectors, they're money grabbing. Well, if you guys don't want to buy it, then I suggest you don't buy it, and only pick the ones that you really like. I pick all the ones that I like. I'm sure other people collect the ones that they really like, as opposed to completist collectors that collect everything. I don't think there's that many of those guys that collect everything, but hey, everyone to their own different opinion. But thanks for watching, guys. Another short video just to tell you a little bit more about Hong Kong and how the collecting model, business model, how the business here is a lot different. Hopefully you appreciate that there are differences and therefore there's different opinions and how things work. So thanks for watching, guys, much appreciated. Take care.